Scotty James, two-time Olympian, X Games gold medalist, and this is the Blackboard experiment. Board number 7 is pretty interesting. It's got the hull feel at the front of the nose and in the tail. It feels a lot like a boat on when you're riding it from edge to edge. It feels like it has a hull the whole way down, which makes it a little bit tricky getting a good carve out of it. Be really fun. It's quite surfy. It floats on top of the slush really well. It was pretty fun on the jibs, you know, it locked into all the rails really well. It did take a little bit of getting used to as I approached rails and things. I gave it a score of 6 out of 10 for the jibs. For the jumps, it was a little bit tough riding into the jumps. In terms of actually takeoff and landing, it was still pretty good. So I gave the jump score a 5. And that's just because riding bigger jumps, last thing you want to be thinking about is where the board's going. You prefer to watch the jump. Transition, it was pretty. It's interesting with the shape of the board. It's pretty rolly from edge to edge, therefore it's not super aggressive for the transition. I did really enjoy it in the mini pipe. Thought it was still fun to do slashes and all of those things. So I gave it a 5.5 in the transition. For carving, it was a pretty fun board. I found it a little trickier when I was going at lower speeds, but once I picked up speed, I had more control of the board and I was able to roll edge to edge pretty well. And you know, it could still hold its own through a pretty sharp turn and carve and things like that. And also I think this board in particular, with the shape of it, would probably be super fun in the powder. Out of 10, I gave it a 6. And the total score for this board was a 22.5. This board was tough for me to guess what it was, but I'm pretty sure that it is a Bataleon from what I can see from here, so let's see. That's a Bataleon. The Bataleon, the Jam. This board, riding it, was still really fun. I think people would have a lot of fun on this board, particularly in the mini pipe and on the smaller park. And I feel like if I had a little bit more time on this board and I only had a short amount of time to ride it, it would win me over. I think it's still really fun, and with a little bit more time you would get used to the hull in the front and the back and how this board kind of rides. So yeah, the Bataleon, the Jam.